Hey boys and girls, this book is called Beluga Whales by Megan M. Gunderson. Whale Set 1, Beluga Whales by Megan M. Gunderson. This is the table of contents. The table of contents is an important feature of a nonfiction text because it tells you what chapters or what subjects are in the book and then what pages you can find them on. So you can use the table of contents to turn to a certain section of the book if you don't want to read the whole thing. Beluga whales and family. Bright white beluga whales are popular with whale watchers and aquarium visitors. Like all mammals, belugas are warm-blooded and nurse their young. These cetaceans must surface to take deep breaths above water. Beluga whales belong to the family Monodontidae. The only other member of their family is the narwhal. Both species live in the cold waters of the Arctic Ocean. Beluga whales are noisy ocean dwellers. Their loud chirps and whistles can even be heard above water. This earned them the nickname sea canaries. Belugas are also called white whales. In fact, the name beluga comes from a Russian word meaning white. And this is another important feature of nonfiction text, is a caption next to a picture. And this says, belugas can imitate a variety of sounds. Shape, size, and color. A thick layer of blubber covers the beluga whale's broad, rounded body. The beluga's small, broad flippers sometimes curl up at the ends. The flukes have a deep notch in the center. Instead of a dorsal fin, there's a narrow dorsal ridge. The beluga appears to have different facial expressions. This is because it can change the shape of its bulging melon. The neck is flexible too, so the beluga can turn its small head from side to side, and it can nod up and down. On average, male beluga whales grow 11 to 15 feet long. They weigh about 3,300 pounds. Females are smaller. This is another important feature of a nonfiction text. A lot of times you'll see a picture with labels on it, labeling the parts of something. And this is labeling the parts of a beluga whale. There's the beak, the melon, the eye, the flipper, the dorsal ridge, and the flukes. Adult belugas are almost completely white. Only a few small areas are a darker color. These include the dorsal ridge and the edges of the flukes and flippers. Where they live. Belugas live in the Arctic Ocean and its nearby seas, bays, and rivers. They are comfortable in freshwater and saltwater habitats. Belugas swim in both shallow and deep water. In summer, belugas enter bays, estuaries, and rivers. There, they find food and raise their young. In autumn, they move because these areas freeze over. Some populations migrate longer distances than others. In their habitat, beluga whales swim among huge ice formations. And here's another picture with a caption. It says, thousands of belugas may migrate together. And then another feature of a nonfiction text that you'll see is having maps in books. And then this is a map key. And the red part says where beluga whales live. So you can see it's all up here at the top of the earth is where they live. Without dorsal fins, they glide easily under ice. Under thin ice, belugas can break open breathing holes using the melon. Yet they cannot break through thick ice, so belugas must be careful not to get trapped. Senses. Underwater, a beluga's strong fluke works hard to push it up to spy hop. Beluga whales are curious creatures. They use their excellent sense to explore their habitat. Belugas have good eyesight. To see above the surface, they bob their heads out of the water. This is called spy hopping. Scientists believe belugas use their sense of taste. They do not think belugas have a sense of smell. But scientists know touch is an important sense for belugas. Excuse me. Touching is one way belugas communicate with one another. Most of all, belugas rely on hearing. This sense is useful in a habitat that is often dark and ice covered. Hearing is a vital part of a special ability called echolocation. Belugas use it to locate breeding holes, find prey, and avoid predators. To use echolocation, a beluga makes a series of clicks. These sounds pass through the large melon and out into the water. They hit other objects in the beluga's path. The sounds bounce back as echoes, which the beluga hears and understands. The echoes reveal an object's size, distance, and speed. Defense. Polar bears, killer whales, and humans are all beluga whale predators. Belugas trapped by ice can become polar bear prey. With one swipe of its paw, a bear can drag a beluga onto the ice for a meal. A great sense of hearing helps belugas avoid killer whales. Like other cetaceans, killer whales make whistles and calls. If belugas hear killer whales approaching, they head for safety. Belugas can try to escape danger. Normally, they swim 2 to 6 miles per hour. If they are being chased, belugas can swim 14 miles per hour. Unfortunately, swimming away from danger sometimes leads to strandings. Without help from humans, this can lead to death. Pollution also causes strandings. This is just one threat belugas face from humans. People have been hunting them for hundreds of years. Today, the number of belugas that can be hunted is limited. Still, some populations remain threatened. If belugas become trapped by ice, they are vulnerable to polar bears. They may also starve or drown. Food. Like all cetaceans, belugas are carnivores. They eat shrimp, crabs, squid, octopuses, and marine worms. They also feast on salmon, Arctic cod, herring, capelins, and other fish. Belugas hunt these creatures in freshwater and saltwater to find their food. They dive down 65 to 1,150 feet. For each dive, they spend 9 to 13 minutes underwater. A beluga eats 50 to 60 pounds of food each day. On average, belugas have 32 to 36 teeth. Belugas hunt along the bottom of their habitat. They squirt water into the ground to reveal hidden prey. Then, they pucker their lips to suck up their catch. To hunt schools of fish, belugas work together. They catch prey in their peg-like teeth and swallow it whole. Babies. Beluga whales usually mate between late February and May. After mating, females become pregnant, and they carry their young for 12 to nearly 15 months. A mother beluga almost always gives birth to one baby at a time. The baby is called a calf. Mothers deliver their calves in bays and estuaries. A newborn beluga is about 5 feet long. It weighs around 175 pounds. A beluga calf is dark or bluish gray to brownish red in color. As it grows older, its color lightens. It will take 7 to 9 years to turn white. Beluga calves need their mothers for food and safety. Calves nurse for at least 24 months. They learn much about survival from adults around them. Beluga whales can live for more than 50 years. Beluga calves can swim at birth. Behaviors. Beluga whales are very social animals. They form permanent pods. Often group members are the same age and sex. Belugas also from nursery groups. Belugas also form nursery groups. These contain mothers and calves. For migrating and feeding, pods may gather together to form much larger groups. Scientists have seen schools of 10,000 belugas. Belugas have several special features that set them apart from other whales. They can swim backwards, and belugas molt every summer. The outer layer of skin turns yellow in winter, and in summer, belugas rub along river bottoms to remove that outer layer. Beluga whales are playful, curious creatures, and in fact, they often approach boats. These bright white animals continue to fascinate whale watchers. Belugas get rid of old yellow skin in shallow waters. Rubbing along rough gravel helps expose a new layer of skin. Beluga whale facts. Scientific name, Delphinopterus lucas. Delphinopterus lucas. That's a hard word to say. Common name, beluga whale. Other names, white whale or sea canary. Average size, length 11 to 15 feet. Weight 3,300 pounds. Females are smaller. Where they are found? In the Arctic Ocean and its nearby seas, bays, and rivers. Beluga whales at a Japanese aquarium learn to blow bubbles for visitors. This is an important part of a nonfiction text. It's called the Glossary. It's an important feature because it gives you words that are in the book and tells you their definitions. So this tells you blubber is the fat of whales and other marine animals. Blubber protects animals from cold. Cetacean, a member of the order Cetacea. Mammals such as dolphins, whales, and porpoises are cetaceans. Estuary, the area of water where a river's current meets the ocean's tide. Flexible, able to bend or move easily. Habitat, a place where a living thing is naturally found. Melon, a rounded structure found in the forehead of some cetaceans. Migrate, to move from one place to another, often to find food. Molt, to shed skin, hair, or feathers and replace with new growth. Pod, a group of socially connected dolphins or whales. Pregnant, having one or more babies growing within the body. Stranding, the appearance of a cetacean on a beach. Warm-blooded, having a body temperature that is not much affected by surrounding air or water. And these are websites that you can go to if you want to get more information about beluga whales. And another important feature of a nonfiction text is the index. The index gives you words that are mentioned in the book and tells you what pages they are mentioned on. Okay, so senses is mentioned on page 10, 11, and 12. Lifespan is on page 16. So if you wanted to get information about these specific things, you can turn to these pages. So the index can tell you where to look in a book for information. This has been a book called Beluga Whales. I hope you enjoyed it.